Back to the James McGee Show. I am your host. I am James McGee. Good morning to you on this Friday morning. I didn't do a show Wednesday, so I'm coming at you on Friday. It is quite chilly, not colder than a liberal's tip, but it's chilly out here on the patio in Southwest Louisiana. So I'm gonna wrap up. I'm sure next week we're gonna talk, more about this just catastrophe going on in Minnesota with the fraud, but there's going to be some. I've concentrated a whole week on it. We've covered a lot of it today. I want to concentrate on the politics of it and the politicians, and this is a result of when you bring in, like President Trump says, garbage. I say animals. When you bring in a bunch of garbage or a bunch of animals, and you make them naturalized citizens and you let them just do what they want, then this is the result that you get. You get people like Tim Walz as governor. You get Congress women like this absolute disgusting animal, Ilhan Omar. She is the most disgusting person. She is the most racist person. And that's what they do. This is how they've accomplished their this scheme. Is all they do is holler racism. What's racist? What racist is what's being done? All that's the Democrats' playbook. Just holler racism on everything. And that's what they've done. She has yet to condemn anyone on this fraud. $1 billion was stolen. $1 billion that was supposed to go to, look at what it was supposed to go to. Autism. It was supposed to go to feeding the hungry. It didn't. It went back to Somalia to support terrorism. She denies that, but it's factual. That happened. But she doesn't care about America. That's why she should be denaturalized. Yesterday, I covered denaturalization and the difference between birthright Americans and naturalized citizens. There is absolutely no similarity when it comes to rights of keeping your citizenship. You can't take mine, but we can take theirs. Let's start with her. She has proven, like I said yesterday, you take an oath, right hand, swear unto God that your allegiance is to America. There are so many examples where her allegiance is not to America. So I say you denaturalize Ilhan Omar immediately as a start. Good morning, Britt. As a start, you get her out. That's where we start. Let's look at her response. This is just the sickening. Look at her response of what's going on, and she doesn't care. It doesn't matter to her. The only thing that matters to her is that Somalian people get to come over here and steal and be the animals that they were in Somalia. They keep getting to be that, but they get to bring it here. It's really just a absolute terrible situation. But look at her.
On why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
Excuse me, I got to laugh on this. Okay. She makes a bigger word salad than Kamala Harris. What the fuck did she say? Nothing is what she said. She said absolutely nothing. She didn't condemn anybody. She just made excuses. Well, this is what happened. No, this is what happens when you bring animals like you into this country. You piece of garbage. That's how can anybody vote for this. But no, they brought their own people. Now they're bullying people. It's unbelievable. I've never been to Minnesota, and I promise you, there's probably 10 states I haven't been to. I'm gonna hit all 50. I'm gonna hit 49. I'll never go to that fucking state. Never go to that state. Absolutely. Why would you? For what? I don't care about the lakes. Got lakes in other places in this country. It is the worst state in America. Let's look at let's look at what a real, now Minnesota does have real leaders. Let's look at what a real leader looks like and is actually calling out Tim Walz for what he is. This is a congressman in Minnesota, U.S. Congress.
Competent. He's a pathological, sociopathic liar. He lies about everything. We have been trying to sound the alarm on this fraud that has been going on since the beginning of the Walz administration for more than 3 years. And it wasn't until Donald Trump sent his truth out a couple weeks ago that everybody started paying attention. Tim Walz has done nothing. Tim Walz has not held one person in his administration accountable for $1 billion of fraud. And my question now is, this isn't just negligent incompetence, Bill. Somebody is complicit in this. And if the governor, there are whistleblowers, alleged whistleblowers.
So he's absolutely right. This is not just incompetence. He is absolutely incompetent. And, you know, big stir is that Trump called him retarded. Now, look, I don't use that word. But and I wish our president didn't. I don't agree with everything Donald Trump does, despite popular belief. I'm not a jock rider. I say things, and I don't like that he did it. But here's the deal. Can you argue that he's wrong? There is something seriously wrong with this man. He has taken absolutely no responsibility. When asked, you take responsibility, I take responsibility of putting people in jail. You didn't put anybody in jail. You did nothing. All this information was coming to you, and you absolutely did nothing. That's why people had to come and do it for you. But let's look at Ilhan Omar again. This was early on. This is early on in Trump's administration, probably 8 months ago, when the talk was about USAID and taking the money. Look what she has to say about this. 8 months ago.
Really a sad day in America.
Oh, sad.
We are
so
witnessing a constitutional crisis. We talked about Trump wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like. When you
see what she did? Constitutional crisis, threat to democracy. Every time they try to uncover the fraud that they're doing, it's constitutional crisis, and he's a racist, and it's just smoke and mirrors. It's just total diverting from that. You're right, Brett. She is the crisis. The biggest crisis in America right now is the incompetent Democrat leaders. It's and when we get to Mama Luke of the day, it's unbelievable what this clown. So what do we do about this? What do we do? Democrats they're not going away. I don't know what the answer to this is. They're totally incompetent. If you're a Democrat or if you vote Democrat, I think you really you need to get that MRI that Donald Trump got, because something is seriously wrong with you. How could you vote for somebody like Tim Walz? Because Tim Walz he has never taken responsibility. Again, he's never taken responsibility for anything. He does absolutely nothing. He has accomplished nothing, and all he does is completely divert to everybody else. So, let's play this one. This is a city councilman, I believe, a city councilman in Minnesota. But this is what the Democrats constantly do.
Islamophobic, and we are going to fight that.
It's not racist to fight crime and fraud. It's righteous.
Exactly.
Omar thinks Trump has a crush on her.
I would say the president's obsession with me and the Somali community is really unhealthy. It's creepy. And I hope that he...
Okay, so let's look at the pattern here again. You had a city councilman in Minneapolis where fraud was $1 billion worth of fraud. He's probably in on it, is why he's not denouncing it. And instead of denouncing it and saying, you know, I want everybody involved, no matter who it is, to go to prison because they were taking money. They were taking food out of the mouths of Minneapolis residents who I represent. What does he do? He gets up there and he calls Donald Trump a racist Islamophobe. And then you have this complete animal, Ilhan Omar. What does she do? Gets up there and says, Trump has an obsession with me and the Somalians. There's no obsession. There's no obsession. It's a determination to get you filthy animals out of here. So I am going to cut it a little short this morning. So we're going to get to Mama Luke of the day. And this is not about Somalia, but when you see this is another Democrat leader. I'm gonna play the video, but this is Senator Joe Reed, or Jack Reed, and he is going to talk to us about bombing the narco terrorists. This is what he thinks about the narco terrorists.
Most narco traffickers are not in those boats. They pay people to do that, and usually people are not significantly involved with narco trading. It's the way they make money.
Okay, let me tell you what he said. One more again, what he said. Narco terrorists are not in the boats. They are paying people to be in the boats. Senator Jack Reed, you are not only Mama Luke of the day, you are absolutely the biggest Mama Luke to date. So what you're telling us is we're killing innocent people because they're not the narco terrorists. They're just people paid to bring drugs that are killing Americans into this country. They're not narco terrorists. That's pretty disgusting. What he was saying, what I take is him saying what he was trying to say was these are just mules. These aren't the leaders of the cartel, okay? But Senator Reed, if you know anything about war, the people that get killed in war are the soldiers. Normally it's not the generals. You take out their soldiers. Now, I'm sure there's a plan to try to find the ones at the top. The ones at the top aren't the ones riding the boats. They're the ones planning this. They're the ones and they need to be taken out. But in any war, again, you take out the soldiers. And that's what we are doing. We're taking out his soldiers. They knew what they were transporting. They are the narco terrorists. They're the mules for this. They're the soldiers, and in a war, and we're at war with narco terrorists, we're taking out the soldiers. They chose to be soldiers for narco terrorists. But you clown Senator Jack Reed or Mama Luke of the day. I hope each and every one of you have a good weekend. I hope that we're done talking about Somalia and we move on to something else next week. But the only way to stop talking about it is for something to be done and for Democrats to finally stand. I haven't seen one Democrat stand up. One Democrat stand up and denounce this. Instead, they're diverting. That's all they do. That's all they know how to do is start talking about other stuff. This whole deal that's going on with this boat, right? That we killed innocent people. That didn't happen. Yes, it's demorized. You're right. That did not happen. It was proven that Hegseth did not give the order, but it was real funny. They had to go find something, right? They had to go find something that gave them some sort of diversion from the seditious six, the legal order, the commercial that was a total disaster, backfired on them. So they had to go find, this a legal order. It was not. It was not a legal order. And then they had to find something to take away from this fraud. You have seen one Democrat absurd. They're supposed to be the party that cares about people, right? They're supposed to be the ones that want to feed people. And $1 billion was taken out of the mouths of people in Minnesota and given to terrorists. And not one Democrat has denounced it. Instead, they're using it to say one more negative thing about Trump and the Republican Party. Again, I hope each of you had a good weekend. Remember this weekend, nobody's coming to save you, and the world does not give a fuck. McGee is